my faith is stronger than it's ever been before. And I will forever keep my eyes.
All right, you are now tuned in to the Brother to Brother, the show that's sweeping the nation. My name is Jeremy Williams.
And I'm Christopher Williams.
We're two brothers, man, and we love what God is doing, and we're ready to push you into your greatness. We are joined by our live Facebook audience. We're doing Facebook Live, so you're going to see us refer to Facebook Live from time to time.
Hey,
the great thing about it is, as we all put our minds together and we have this dialogue, the end result is going to be you becoming great. You're going to achieve your greatness goals. And today, Chris, I'm excited about what we're talking about in this last segment because, man, our young people, that is our passion, that's our heart. That's what we do. And we got to get our young people steered in the right direction concerning their career goals.
Listen, this is that time and season where a lot of decisions are going to be made. We're coming into the holiday season when I tell all of the seniors and students that I talk to around the city is that coming out of the break, there's a date that's in front of you, June the 1st, between May and June, all across our nation.
Man.
There's going to be another group of young human beings that have finished 12 years of schooling that are going to be introduced into our workforce. They're going to be introduced into our neighborhoods and institutions of higher learning. And we have to do something about the indecision that I'm seeing that is epidemic proportions around our nation with indecision, and people do not know what they want to do with the next phase of their life. So we're going to be talking about some strategies, some tips, and some opportunities that are out there for our young people to start making decisions about how they're going to spend the rest of their life in their career path in education, man.
Hey, Chris, there's a saying that says if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so right now where we are in this generation, they're calling them millennials. They're calling them, what's some of the other?
Well, we have a cross section of a lot of generations right now. There are definitely the Gen Yers, the Gen Xers, the millennials is one of the main new group of individuals that are on the scene right now making decisions and are also entering to the job market. The baby boomer generation there is weaning off. They're moving into retirement. They're leaving a lot of the areas that occupied areas that were of high skill level, high pay. And the thing that we're finding that's becoming an issue is this generation gap, especially in areas of technology and technical works where people have to put their hands, high skill level jobs and careers. We're really facing a gap that we need to do something about.
All right, Chris. Well, you are a part of the recruitment staff of LIT, that's Lamar Institute of Technology, right here in Beaumont, Texas. And so you are on the front lines. You're in schools. What's some of the schools you've gone to in Southeast Texas?
Well, our Southeast Texas schools, part of my responsibility is all of our BISD or Beaumont ISD schools, Central, Westbrook, Ozan, love y'all, all the old schools, Kelly High School, Legacy, some of the private schools, charter schools that are in the area between here and Port Arthur. So Memorial High School out there in Port Arthur and surrounding areas. And then we have a team of people in our area that are just storming all of the schools in Southeast Texas, as far as up to Newton and Jasper, far west out there to East Chambers and everything, Silsbee, Koontz, a lot of these areas. And by the web, we're hitting everybody in the world or in our nation and state. And so there's a lot of opportunity out there for our students right now. We're making pathways into these schools. One of the messages that we like to talk about at LIT is that you can engage in a career without boundaries.
Okay.
There's really on the forefront of us, and you allow me just a little bit to talk about that, especially in the Golden Triangle area and the coast. Now, there are a lot of things to love about Texas. Texas is a huge state, and to y'all that are listening from around the country, anytime you meet somebody from Texas, you know it's bigger and better in Texas.
That's right.
And we are big in personality, but we're also big in industry and resource. and especially in our Golden coastal area, there's over $300 billion of infrastructure expanse that is happening all the way from Corpus Christi all the way to even across the water, we say the Sabine River, there in Louisiana. Right. And in the Golden Triangle itself, in our area, there's over $30 billion. We have a $30 billion expansion opportunities that are happening in our area. And so it's a great time for resource and opportunity.
All right, so what is LIT doing to equip? When you say recruit, are y'all just trying to get kids to come to your school? Or what is the catch? What's the hook? What's the
Well, when we deal with LIT is Lamar Institute of Technology, and as it's different from a university, Lamar Institute of Technology is a 2-year college that offers an associate's degree in the areas of technology, applied sciences, and business. What we teach is an industry standard to put people into the workforce with a skill and an ability. Not just knowledge in your head, but you can leave our institution with a skill that is a marketable skill in a highly rewarding community of infrastructure and business. The petrochemical industry is really big in Texas and the Gulf Coast, and so we train students to enter into those industries with real skills.
You know what I love about LIT, and I love what you're doing, reaching out to this young society, which is a type of evangelism and it's a type of outreach. Because a lot of my friends from the rural area, a lot of my friends from local Southeast Texas area, friends and family members, I have a lot of cousins that are excellent with their hands. They can fix cars, they can build houses, small engine repair, they can do it all. They can break down a measurement, which is a skill set. But in our traditional schooling system, they're taught, hey, go to school 12 years and then go to a college, go to a 4-year university, when that doesn't fit everybody.
Yeah.
LIT has a unique niche that if that's not your aspiration, if that pathway has nothing to do with your goals, then I can now turn to LIT and say, hey, I'm good with my hands.
Yes.
Or I'm good with my mind. Show me how I can make some money right now.
Absolutely. We have over 30 degrees that we offer at LIT. 2-year associate's degrees, and I tell students, and I tell this to the parents that are listening too, because we're talking about giving our kids real solid decisions. Usually comparatively to a 4-year university, parents and students alike say, oh man, a 2-year university comes from a JUCO. A 2-year university, a 2-year degree, comes from a JUCO or a community college. And the only way you go to a community college or a JUCO or 2-year schools is if you couldn't make the grade for the 4-year, and so that's really not a real college. That is not true. I tell the students this: the difference between my institution and any institution that is a 2-year, especially technical degree institution, is that it takes 2 years for us to teach you what it is we want you to do. That's it. Now, if you go to an institution where you're choosing to go and it takes 4 years, all you're really saying is that whatever your plan of study is, it took you 4 years to get there. Well, one of the things that we do in our 2-year associate's degree programs in technical is that we'll equip you to move directly into the workforce. Wow. It takes 2 years for you to develop the foundational skills that you can use to be employed in industries that are paying in excess of $65,000 a year.
Now, not to interrupt you, but that's my next thing. Show me the money.
Absolutely.
How much money can be made in a 2-year certification program versus some 4-year program?
We have at LIT, and I'm talking about it because this is what I do, but we have at LIT a number of degree plans that when you graduate from our institution, median salary, that means the middle range salary for students that graduate from our institution is $48,000. $48,000 a year. Well, somebody say, well, man, that's nothing. Well, listen, if you come from a family where that family is making $15,000 a year, okay, $20,000 a year, you're at the poverty line. You can change the trajectory of your family lineage by getting involved with a career set that puts a technical skill in your hand You can graduate, go into the workforce, 45, 48, and some of these jobs that our students are being trained for, they're making entry level $65,000 a year with potential to make excessive of $80,000 and up to $100,000 in some situations with a technical skill. So what I say to that is this: we have to find a new way to give our students more valuable choices because the workforce is changing. We went through a time and period in the workforce where it was the educated levels of doctors, lawyers, some of those things that were really on the rise. Okay, well, this is what happens. Say you get a whole bunch of doctors. Everybody gets a doctorate degree, or doctors becomes a physician. What are they going to do? They're going to open up a practice, okay?
Okay.
So that doctor who's been to school 10, 12 years to get his doctor's license, he opens up the practice. Well, who's going to build the practice? Who's going to lay the plumbing? Who's going to lay the electricity? Who's going to put in the micro systems, the electronics? Who's going to calibrate the equipment that he or she needs? Who's going to be there to support that bit of knowledge? And what we're seeing in the workforce is that there become, over the years, an overabundance of these people that, or these fields that are educated, cerebral driven with a skill now. It's not just mental, but they don't have the acumen to build the plant and to build the hospital, and we need to fill those gaps.
Okay, Chris, so in filling the gaps, okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty now. I may have gotten in trouble in high school, might be a student at Ozan or Central, and I got kicked out of school, or, I don't have a GED. I mean, I don't have a diploma. Maybe I got a GED, or I may not have a GED. What if I'm in that age group or that collective group of people? How can LIT help me?
Well, I want to, just for a moment, I'll come away from LIT and to talk to the higher level strategy. The strategy with anybody that's pursuing a career that wants to move in something what we call post-secondary. You want to do something with your life. Listen, don't be fooled by the lies. There are things that you've done in your past that don't matter about how far you go in the future. There are things that you've gone through in your life. It doesn't matter if you got suspended from school, got in trouble with the principal's office, or even that you may have failed some courses. Get a GED, find a way. There are some things that hinder you. A felony can hinder you. Some bad activities can hinder you, but that hinders everybody. Give yourself an opportunity to achieve. Give yourself an opportunity to find out how to do things. Well, somebody said, well, I can't go to an institution of higher learning. That doesn't mean that you can't learn. All I'm saying is learn. Find a way to gain the skill. Find a way, even if it's on your job that you just get, and somebody says, let's go full extreme. Let's say you have a felony on your record, and it's hard to get employed, but you get a spot somewhere. Learn all you can in that spot. You know what I'm saying? Learn all you can to help you benefit and better yourself and your skill and your ability. Because there are institutes and there are colleges and there are internships and there are apprenticeships. There are things that you can put your hand to and learn so that you can become a better person.
Well, I want to say this. It also, this whole conversation is really tugging at the entrepreneur in me, because learning a skill set, Chris, what we found can not only get you a great paying salary, but as you learn on that job, the ins and outs of the field that you're in, the ins and outs of the business, how things work, how jobs are contracted and how they are completed, and then how those skills are marketed. Chris, we found that the learning and mastering of a skill can lead you into your own business where you become your own boss. And that's exciting to me.
Yes, yeah. There are a number of skills. And if we come back to the skills that I know we teach at our institution, heating, AC, and ventilation. Heating, ventilation, and AC, HVAC. Advanced engine technology,
right.
Diesel mechanics and different things of those nature. Instrumentation, allied sciences. These are things that you can gain this skill and go out and start your own business. That way there's no limit on your earning potential.
Right.
And so we always want to keep in mind that careers are great. They make great lifestyles. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
Right.
But if it is for you, take the skill that you've learned, find a way to employ that skill for yourself, and you can have a
Hey, Chris,
lifestyle.
I see we got Miss Aika. Hey, Aika, how you doing? Aika is an educator, has helped a lot of young people.
Counselor at Central High School.
Helped a lot of young people in post-secondary education, going to college, and so forth and so on. And so I'm glad she's tuning in. I'm glad she's watching. But I want to tackle something, Chris. Here in Southeast Texas, we know that this is a sports community. This is a sports community. Football is king in Southeast Texas. Basketball is next in line, and then I could say safely baseball. So forth and so on. So our kids invest a lot of time and a lot of energy into playing sports. My son is a football player. I mean, I played sports. We got scholarships. You play sports. And so I'm not knocking that. But I think a light has to come on. We have to raise our level of consciousness to understand that everybody's not going to get an athletic scholarship. That has become a trap in Southeast Texas because we invest a lot of time going to practices, going to events, and then once the season is over, we haven't went and talked to Miss Aika Hill. We haven't gone and talked to Mr. Chris Williams. We haven't sat down with a career planner like Nina Williams, our sister, and now you're in May and June and you're stuck with indecisiveness. Give us some information, Chris, of how we can curb that trend.
Listen, one of the stories, and I'm going to tell just briefly, one of the things that happened to me, I've enjoyed a career in the latter part of my life or early part of my life in sports medicine. The reason I became a sports medicine athletic trainer, where I later went on to train with the Dallas Cowboys from Silsbee, Texas. Great story. Very, 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 very excited about that. But this is the deal that happened. The trainer that spoke to me about that field told me how I could take a passion, because my academic success and my academic strength was anatomy, physiology, biology, those courses. It wasn't chemistry, it wasn't math. I wasn't as sharp as Jeremy is in that, but my area was the body. But I love sports also. I made a decision in my heart, in my mind, I knew I couldn't play at the next level. I was on the team with all staters, all regions. These guys were smashing it. They were great. That just wasn't my deal. But this guy told me how to connect passion. The reason why I'm going that route is, listen, I don't have nothing against an athletic guy, or a lady that's playing sports. What we have to do, however, we have to provide outlets for that passion. Everybody's not going to make it to the NFL. Everybody's not going to make it to the NBA or Major League Baseball, whatever it is. The pro level of sports performance is only for an elite group of people. But you do not have to abandon your love for sports. I've been telling about athletic training. I've been talking about sports management. I've been talking about sports law. I've been talking about sports advertising. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a whole nother world of agents and advertisers and marketers and equipment people that help support these industries that need people who love the sport, need people who have options. The biggest thing that we lack to do, or we dropped the ball on it, is that we don't know the options. We have to expand the options. But the options can be credible because we can keep you in your passion. I can keep you around sports if that's your deal. You know what I'm saying? You can play intramurals and stuff on the weekend if you just love it that much. But the thing that you need to do to make the money, let me give you some options about other avenues. Listen, it's nothing against the people that I play with because I love them. These guys were great. A lot of them went on to the next level in college to play football, but then a number of them did not. But this is one of the things that I know of a surety, nothing against them. A lot of them, 99% of them didn't make it to the pros. But guess who made it to the pros? The guy that was the least expectant, the guy that found the other pathway. It's the other pathway. Sometimes you got to go in the back door to get to the place that you want to get to, man. And so I'm just talking real options. I'm not talking anything against anybody that's listening or that's insulting. What I'm trying to say is that you find your way to get there. And it has to be a path that's not just reasonable, It challenges you,
Right.
but it has to be another option.
Hey,
for
we
you.
got Anna Collins also watching. Anna, what's going on? One of the greatest entrepreneurial minds I've met, and right there from Silsbee, Texas. And so I also, Chris, want to deal with another composite, another group of people that may be watching this broadcast. Their parents or guardians may be watching. And there is this trend that everybody wants to be a singer or a rapper. I'm going to deal with it. It's right here in Southeast Texas. It's in Houston, right up the street. Everybody is trying to be the next 50 Cent. Everybody's trying to be the next Jay-Z. Everybody's trying to be Bootsy, whoever.
Whoever's out there.
All
Yeah.
right, the next Rihanna. And again, right here in this small microcosm of people, we think the only way that you can go big time is by performing. When in essence, the performer that you see on the television is at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to salary, when it comes to recognition. And these are things that LIT teaches. LIT teaches about graphic design. They teach about not just fashion design, the people that dress the performers. I'm studying up my words because my mind is going 1,000 miles an hour. Also, Chris, fashion design, graphic design, digital technology.
Yeah.
These are things that make the video. When you go to a concert and see Jay-Z, somebody that had IT training put that concert together. And all Jay-Z came out, did it perform, and we said, oh, he made a bunch of money. How much money do you think the people that did the smoke and the lighting and the fire and the sound made?
Yeah. Yeah.
We want to raise the awareness of this generation that there's another path to becoming great.
Well, again, I think, like you said, with that pathway comes with options. We have to speak options, do the investigation. What are the broader spectrums of any industry? What are all the components in that industry that make that industry what it is? Because if you're not the star on the stage, that doesn't mean that you can't be the star in the background to make the things go. And it doesn't mean that you're less. And I also say this, Jeremy, because you never want to say anything in a way that squashes a person's ambitions and dreams. I was talking to my son, who's an 11th grader. He's going to be a high school senior here next year. And he's very, very, very engaged in music theory and different things. And he's talking about his goals and aspirations to further his life in music. But one of the balances that we told him is that as much as the performer is expected to be the shining star, you can look at other things, the broader periphery stuff. But then also, listen, it may want to do this. Get engaged in something, because the truth of the matter, as me being a musician and a performer, I told him there are going to be moments and gaps in history where you don't have $1 million record label. You don't have a show every weekend. You're not on the stage every weekend. So at least get trained in something to buffet or to fill in the gaps when the thing that you're passionate about is not always happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that is a strategy, or one of the strategies that I talk to students about, is that maybe you need to get engaged in something that you can put your hands to, make the money that you need to make, support your dreams, support your habit, and work on that thing in the afternoon. Work on that thing on the side. You know what I'm saying? Work on that thing when you're not doing the main thing that makes you money. Doesn't mean that you can't do it. Just means that sometimes in life you got to support all of those dreams and aspirations.
And Chris, I see Kevin Thomas is tuned in. I also see Pastor Gerald Smith, a good dear friend of ours, an innovator in his own right. He's tuned in, and I know that he supports this message that we are projecting, that you can learn a skill set, you can learn a trade. There is more than one way, like we say in Silsbee, to skin a cat. I don't know why anybody would want to skin a cat, but there is more than one way of doing it. There's more than one route to take. And so that's what we want to do. We want you to stretch your mind, stretch your capacity, because you can become great. It's not just in what society tells us greatness is.
Man, you really do have to go against the grain. We are a blind leading a blind society right now. We're really, we talk about it all the time. Where's the last great innovation or the next great innovation, or the next great invention is going to come from. Who's going to discover that next great thing? I mean, your cell phone can't be the greatest thing that's invented in this time, even though it has lots of functions. But there's nothing like some good old-fashioned hands and thinking and using cell phones and all of this stuff as tools. You know what I'm saying? But the human experience, the work experience, the skill experience is one that has remained to be critical for every culture, for the sustenance of a culture, for the longevity, the heritage of a culture. There has to be people who are part of that system in that point in time where they build that culture. You know what I'm saying? They build the life longevity of it. They plant the water systems, the technologies that's needed for the sustenance of life. And what I tell our students, it's like you gotta wake up. Everybody has to wake up. We need to shake our kids and wake them up. You know, and say physically and literally, metaphorically, and say, hey, here's an opportunity for you on the next horizon for you to do something awesome with your life. And you can move in and move into greatness, man.
We got a great question, Chris, that's being posted here.
That's the man that got me turned onto it, John Mays.
Come on, man.
Doc John Mays is on our Facebook
He's
Live
on the
right
Facebook
now.
Live
Listen
right
to it.
now.
Hey, Doc.
Doc, what's
love
going
you, man.
on?
Yeah.
God changed my brother's life, man.
Absolutely.
I love you. Hey,
Well, go ahead.
and I'm going to say this, Chris. Also, before Dr. Mays got on, they were saying, is it okay for church musicians? Now, keep in mind, y'all can send us your comments. This show is not just about me and Chris, but someone has posted, is it okay for church musicians to play secular music because in their music career, they feel like they're losing exposure. They're only playing in the building on Sundays. If you are a music man, I'm going to let you hit it because you know how I feel about it.
Can I go away? Because we only got just a little bit of time. Great question right at the end of here. But listen, music is music. I play a music called healthy music because my soul is right. When I play and I play my drums, my soul and my spirit is right. So if I play a song about love, I need love, all right? And we don't even have the time to go into all of it. So what I'm saying with that is you have to find your passion. Make your music healthy. Do the thing that you love to do. Whether it's, I don't like to say secular music. It may not be identified as in the church, but it's in a place where you can benefit and people can feel your spirit, feel your heart through the music that you make. Make spiritual music, healthy music.
Because actually, and I'm going to say this, we was raised in church and there's no such thing as technically as gospel music. Gospel is to be preached and to be shared, but there is a such thing. Music is spiritual in nature. It's spiritual in nature. And right now, our world needs music, musicians.
Yes.
Because right now, all the beats are technical. All the beats are robotic. And we need somebody that can create music from their heart, not from a computer.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So
man.
let me say this in these last few moments. Let's give them some words of love, Chris, that goes after their gifting.
Well, hey, man, do what's in your heart to do. You've been fearfully, wonderfully made, given strategies, abilities inside yourself you didn't even know. Let's walk it out. Love yourself, love what you do, and God will do the rest.
Brother to brother, tune in. See y'all next time. God bless.